This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
Mariah Carey, still not mad at her?
Never mad at her.
Never mad at her. Never mad.
I have not. I mean, even as she got older and thicker, we are not mad at her.
Okay.
I mean, why are we bringing up Mariah Carey?
Wasn't that Mariah Carey?
That was not Mariah Carey. That was the song.
That's her song.
That song.
No, that's not her
That's
song.
not her song. That song got canceled a couple years ago.
Oh, it did?
Yeah.
Why?
It's basically date rape.
It's
that's where it's
good
leading.
God, that's where
it's leading.
What are you talking about? It's basically date rape.
That's not.
She's trying to leave. He won't let her. I mean, that's kind of where
he's saying it's cold outside. So, and
I mean, that's why it got canceled. I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm saying that's why it got canceled.
Somebody got woke and decided that was an offensive song, and I was like,
God.
okay, have you taken a listen to today's,
Generally speaking, women listen to lyrics more than men do. So I'm kind of shocked that both you guys are being able to do a deep dive analysis on this song.
I only know because
what's Mariah's big song?
All I Want for Christmas Is You.
All I Want for Christmas Is You. Yeah, right. So
I can't believe we're canceling that song. And no, it was canceled a couple years ago. It was absolutely canceled.
Was it really?
Yeah, and
COVID canceled or just
no. People said it was offensive.
Oh my God!
And I mean,
people are looking to be offended.
Oh, absolutely.
So the reason I bring that up is because about a week or so ago, Jamie's question of the day was if you could invite a musical guest to.
That wasn't the question.
What was the question?
If you can invite three famous people to your Super Bowl party, who would it be?
Yeah.
He couldn't come up with an answer. The guy you were sitting next to could not, would not, should not come up with an answer.
Three famous people, living or dead?
I came up with two lists. Well, living, so they could show up. I came up with two lists.
I struggled
before he even got half of one list put together.
Yeah, I struggled with
Kevin Bacon.
That would be fun.
Yeah. Anyone? Tom Cruise.
Okay.
I mean, and you know what? I would ask.
And they've been in a movie together.
I know. I would just ask Tom Cruise. What's it like to do all those stunts, man? I know you busted your ankle on something, but I mean, and Mel Gibson's dead, but
no, he's not.
He's not dead.
No,
Mel Gibson.
He's been.
I like actors fascinate me for some reason.
I said among the people that I eventually said was Steven Tyler from Aerosmith. I thought he'd be fun. And
loving an elevator.
So so the other day I ran into Double T Stats guy at the basketball game.
Okay.
And he said, "Hey, remind me to tell you a story." And so he told me this story on Sunday about back in the day when Aerosmith came to Lubbock. Mm-hmm. Not when they were played at the arena, because I still think that's the best concert I've ever seen at United Supermarkets Arena was Aerosmith. Okay. But they were playing at the Coliseum. And his dad was manager and also had part ownership of a funeral home. And back in the day, in the 70s, you didn't have all these limousine services. And so they called his funeral home, his dad's funeral home, and needed to use a couple of limos from the funeral home to go pick up Joe Perry and Steven Tyler at Aerosmith and take him to the hotel and then take him to the Coliseum and take him back to the hotel. So he did that. He was a young man. They were young men. So you get done with the concert, and because these guys were either living in Boston or from Boston, they couldn't purchase fireworks because fireworks were illegal in Boston. Who knew? Even though they had the big, fireworks display for the Boston Pops, et cetera, et cetera. And so he ends up taking them because it was around the 4th of July. They end up going out south of town and buying fireworks. Okay. Well, the problem was they decided to fire off these fireworks in the middle of the median of the Tohoka Highway.
Oh, boy.
And one of your friendly state troopers shows up and wants to know what's going on. And Double T Stat guy said, well, that's Steven Tyler and that's Joe Perry over there from Aerosmith, and they just wanted to blow off some fireworks. And he's like, have them take it across the street. Anyway, I thought that was a really cool story. A little brush with greatness for Double T Stat Guy.
Nice.
6:35 this morning here on the Morning Drive. Good morning with Chris Snead and Jeff McGuire. I'm Chuck Heinz. If you want to share any of your Christmas Eve traditions, you certainly can. Brandon writes in this with regard to Joey McGuire. He says, I wish he wouldn't talk about how much he loved the Hogs. When they fire Sam Pittman, they'll come try to snag him from us now.
No.
I don't think he's going anywhere.
No, he's not.
Joey McGuire, he's either going to have a statue somewhere over at Jones Stadium in the Plaza area because he'll have so much success, or there'll be a new head coach in the next 5 years.
I mean, that's fair. I mean,
because of what they have given him, I think he is set up to have tremendous success.
And to much who is given, much is expected.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I mean, no resource has been not at his disposal.
Right.
I mean, you want 17 analysts for this? You got 17 analysts. You want a new football building? You got a new football building. We'll just tear down the 10-year-old one and we'll build you a brand new.
Well, it was a little bit more than 10, but
it was 12 years old. About 12 years old. It wasn't very old. It wasn't very old.
It was there in
wasn't very old.
It was there in like 06. So it was about 16, 17 years old. It was less than 20.
Was that 06?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah, because we did stuff with Coach Leach in 07.
2009.
We started doing it was there. It was
I thought it was brand new when he got canoled.
No. It was pretty new, but it'd been there a few years.
Okay, I'll go with that. Okay.
It was refurbished like 6 years ago.
Yeah, okay. With a brand new locker room
and then we blew it up.
We blew it up.
Yeah, just tore it all down. Why not?
Mm-hmm.
Like Biggie Smalls, throw it in the gutter.
Anyway,
go buy another.
Anyway, I think that too much she was given.
Yeah,
much
I think the days of Tech fans worrying that their coach having too much success is going to lead to them walking out the door, I think you're past those days.
I do too, especially on the basketball side, men's basketball side, and on football side.
Yeah, I think those days are long gone. I mean, because tell me the thing that Texas Tech has or doesn't have that everyone else has other than national championships. I know. I mean,
you go to a lot of stadiums. I go to a lot of arenas.
Yeah.
Our stuff that we have here is
the SEC. You would, right now, if you dropped Jones AT&T Stadium connected to that football facility, it would be in the upper half of the SEC. And I'm not sure it wouldn't be in the upper half of the SEC. Everything that they've got right now.
I mean, I was in Fayetteville a week ago, and there wasn't anything there that impressed me that was like, oh, I got to have that from a football or basketball standpoint.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Today is the 24th day of December, also known as Christmas Eve. Here with a report of previous happenings on this day, the one and the only George Christopher Snead.
Thank you, Chuck. Thank you, Jeff. It is indeed December 24th in the year of our Lord, 2024. Mm-hmm. Chuck, we're all going to make it. All right, the mine's wrong still. Today is the 24th, and on this day, 1950, Chuck, the National Football League Championship occurred. Can you imagine them playing championship games in December?
Bear in mind, remember, the Super Bowl used to be played on the second Sunday of January.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly right. From Cleveland Stadium, the mistake by the lake, the Cleveland Browns beat the LA Rams, who used to be the Cleveland Rams.
Okay.
30-28. Cleveland has 5 interceptions, and the Rams have 1 in that game.
Okay.
1969, Chuck. On this day, Curt Flood writes to baseball commissioner Bowie Kuhn, refusing to accept the Cardinals' right to deal him in favor of free agency. He was the first.
He was the first, and then the guy that really got it done was Andy Messersmith.
Yeah, but he was the first guy to really, really challenge the old reserve clause, and it really cost him his career.
It did.
He ended up moving and living over in France and becoming a French citizen, and he was kind of almost excommunicated from baseball. So
What year was that NFL championship game?
1950.
1950, okay.
1990, Chuck, the Expos trade Tim Rock Raines to the White Sox for Ivan Calderon and Barry Jones. You big Montreal Expos fan?
No, not particularly.
Like the hat, like the logo, hated the team.
Yeah, I mean,
They played in an old exhibition stadium up there in Montreal. It's kind of a dump.
Yeah.
Looked like a frying pan with a curled up handle.
Well,
2000.
it was
It was an Olympic stadium.
Yeah, it was an Olympic stadium, the one that they played in eventually.
Yeah, Bruce Jenner won his decathlon.
Decathlon there, yep.
Yeah.
76 Olympics, I believe.
Yes, it was. I was bumming a Wheaties box. 2000, Chuck. Former Red Raider Zach Thomas has 6 total tackles, 4 of the solo variety, and an interception in the Dolphins' 27-24 win over the New England Patriots. New England.
It's really a shame that the Dolphins were as bad as they were during Zach Thomas's time there, because they didn't make very many playoff appearances. They never had a deep run, never played for the right to go to a Super Bowl. And the other night I was listening to a Dolphin game on Double T 973. I was on my way home from, I think, a Lady Raider game. And this guy was talking about, they have a guy on their team, a linebacker on their team, who's like 3 tackles away from, I think breaking Zach's all-time, not all-time, but in-season tackle record. Anyway, he was listing the number of years that, Zach Thomas this, Zach Thomas that. I mean, it was like
Littered
with years that he led the team in tackles.
Yeah.
But, again, it took him a long time to get into the Hall of Fame, not because he was short on accomplishments. He was short on exposure to accomplishments.
That's true. I mean, his accomplishments didn't happen in the biggest games in the league.
Right, yeah. It's not his fault. Well, kind of. It's because his team didn't win. But, I mean, anyway, the bottom line was a lot of what he did in the regular season, which those Dolphin teams didn't make Monday night, or they didn't have Thursday Night Football then. They didn't really ever have very many high-profile games.
No, they didn't.
Didn't have Dan Marino walking out that door, or Bob Greasy, or anybody like that.
Do you want to know what a Red Raider did tomorrow in history?
I'm gonna guess this is something related to the 93 Sun Bowl.
No. Tomorrow in 2023. Tomorrow, Patrick Mahomes, playing for the Kansas City Chiefs, completes 27 of 44 passes for 235 yards and a touchdown, while running for 53 yards into a 20-14 loss to the Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah. I hate the fact that, I mean, I don't need to go into this. I don't like the fact the NFL's playing on Christmas Day on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
They will play on Christmas Day no matter what day it is for the rest of the time.
I think you're right, and I don't like it either. It throws teams like the Chiefs, who are making a deep run, now into chaos because they play a tough game. They got a quarterback with a bum ankle, and now they got to turn around on a short week and play a midweek game tomorrow. Who are they playing?
Pittsburgh. In Pittsburgh.
In Pittsburgh,
yeah.
By the way. Okay. Chuck, it's National Eggnog Day.
Okay.
I love eggnog.
You like it?
I love it.
You like it spiced up with some brandy?
Absolutely. Eggnog with brandy, Fireball, or rum chata.
Okay.
You ever had rum chata?
No.
It's a cream liqueur. Good stuff.
Put that
in your eggnog. Boy, I tell you what.
I'm not really a big eggnog guy. I don't have anything against it. I bought some for the lucky lady the other day. Bought her quart of eggnog, and I bought me a quart of chocolate milk because I felt like I was low on retaining knowledge.
I think I'm going to get me, because we know we're going to the other side of the in-laws Christmas tonight. I think I need to stop and get me some rum chata and some eggnog.
Can I get your drink on a little bit?
Put that in like in a Stanley mug.
Yeah. Well, how many daughters will you have with you tonight?
We're picking up Cassidy. Actually, Cassidy has to work, so she's going to fly to Memphis now. So we're not road tripping off to Memphis now. So we'll have two or three.
Okay.
Yeah. Born on this day, Ricky Martin.
Ricky Martin, like Ricky Martin?
Living la vida loca.
That Ricky Martin, okay.
Yeah. Or is it Ricky Martin?
No, it's
From
Ricky
my
Martin.
Police Academy.
No,
it's just Ricky Martin.
Not yet. He may change it, but not yet.
Born on this day, Ryan Seacrest. How old do you think he is?
I think Mr. Seacrest is 51.
He's 50.
50. Okay.
Not bad. You're closer than I thought you were. Born on this day, Devontae Adams.
Devontae Adams. Okay. What is he? 29.
32.
Okay.
How old do you think Ricky Martin was?
Ricky Martin is older than we think. I bet he's 41.
53.
53.
53.
Wow.
All right, dead on this day, still dead. In 1897, Marshall Newell, American Football Hall of Fame tackle, played for Harvard.
Never heard of him.
It's because he played in 1890.
But that's a college football Hall of Famer.
He is a college football Hall of Famer. And he was a head coach at Cornell and Tufts, home of the Jumbos.
Tufts, yeah.
And Cornell,
Keep going.
at the time, the Red Raiders.
Read the rest of that.
He dies in a railroad accident at 26.
Ooh.
He was a Hall of Famer, a coach, and a businessman, and died at 26.
And died at 26. That's a heck of a life. You laugh, you cry, and you think, that's a heck of a day.
Yeah, he probably would like to have gone a little bit longer.
Yep, dead on this day, still dead. Johnny Oates,
Johnny Oates, okay.
MLB catcher from with the Braves, Phillies, and 3 other teams. Manager of the Orioles and the Texas Rangers.
Probably had more success with the Rangers than the Orioles.
Yes, dies of brain cancer at age 58. And on this day, 1923, President Calvin Coolidge touches a button and lights up the first national Christmas tree to grace the White House grounds.
Well, they wait till Christmas Eve.
A lot of people, our Christmas tree didn't get put up until 2 days ago.
Really?
Well, we were having some medical procedures happening. We had other things going on.
I understand.
But quickly, can you name the 3 schools that have Red Raiders as mascots?
No.
Texas Tech, obviously. Colgate was until 2001. And then Shippensburg State.
Yeah, I could have sat here all day.
The Red Raiders.
And I'm glad that I didn't have to. Thank you for that.
Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Chris, who's in for Jamie and Jeff, I'm Chuck. It's great to have you with us today. Something that always it just kind of amazes me, a Christmas song that you'll hear and you'll go, oh, I know that voice. That's Bing Crosby, and it's not White Christmas, but it's
Is this No Place Like Home for the Holidays?
No, it's his version of the Little Drummer Boy. It's his version of the. Do you know who he sings that in duet with?
No.
Jeff, do you know?
You talking about the one with David Bowie?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, Bing Crosby died in 1977. Okay, and so he was 74 when he died. So David Bowie, he too has passed, but he was born in 47, and so he was 69 when he passed away. But it's an unlikely duo that would have done, because David Bowie would have been very young at the time that he did that song with Bing Crosby. Anyway, I just thought that was interesting that they would do that song together, and but apparently Bing Crosby liked his voice, and they did that song together. So I don't know. It's just thought that
he was 30 years old when he did that song with him.
How old was Bing?
73.
Okay, so it was almost at the end of his life.
Yeah, he. It hit the airwaves in 1977.
Okay, so you think about how big a star Bing Crosby was in those days, and David Bowie was not. He was not a big star yet in 1977. At least I don't recall him being a big star.
It was filmed in the final weeks of his life.
For Bing, yeah. Okay. I mean, it was recorded. Recorded, yeah.
Bing.
Okay. We get this from Paul. God rest you, merry gentlemen. All right. Well, thank you. Lucas asked this question. Chuck, what are your thoughts on how chippy the Lady Raider game against Houston was? I love a physical basketball game, and I don't necessarily feel like it was. I think there was some physicalness that was allowed on one side that wasn't allowed on the other side, but I liked that there was some chippiness to it between the players, and I liked that the Lady Raiders didn't back down from it.
Question: Do you feel like this is a physical Lady Raiders team?
More so than what we've had, and part of that is the moxie of Bailey Maupin, the true toughness of Logan Johnson.
Okay, when they start playing conference games against more physical teams like Baylor, is this team going to be able to match the physicality of that game, or are they going to have to, or are they going to get bullied? That's what I'm getting at.
What you're talking about there is the inside play, and that's to be determined, because that's why Maya Pete is here, and she has shown that she has that ability to stick an elbow in somebody's ribs. She has shown that she has the tenacity to go up for a rebound or take somebody on, call for the ball, where she's asking for the ball in the paint. Okay. And she does have the ability to get up and down the floor. Okay, the question is, how many minutes can she play? She does have an issue with her back, and you'll see her with a back wrap on even during warm-ups. So she's I'm not sure to the extent of what her pain is or what how it's significant, probably, but. I think you're getting there, but I mean, when you say Baylor or you say Iowa State or you say
Kansas State, or you say West Virginia or TCU, I mean, those are the teams that are the top half of the conference. Yeah.
Okay,
and you need to be able to bang with them if you want to play in the top half of this conference.
Yeah, and I don't. Yeah, and I think that's to be determined. The other thing is that if you're able to play some zone against somebody, or they playing you, I mean, if you're doing that, then you've got a Chol Magat who's at 6'7". The challenge is, how much can she get up and down the floor? How many trips can she make up and down the floor? And if you're wanting to run, which they like to do, they like to run, they like to put pressure on the ball, it's hard if you have a big that can't keep pace, for a certain number of minutes. So it's better. I would say to you, what I want to see that kind of level. I want to see that toughness against Cincinnati. I want to see that toughness against BYU. I want to see that toughness against KU. I want to see that toughness against. I don't know anything about Colorado or Arizona State or Arizona. I've not done any work on those teams yet. But if you're going to win, let's just say you're going to win 8 or 9 ball games in the Big 12. Okay, you had to beat Houston. Okay, and you can't have these lapses like you had the other night in the first quarter against Houston, where you got 3 shots off because you kept turning the doggone ball over. But I think they did a better job of rebounding, because that was a point of emphasis. And Kyla Freelon is certainly a candidate for that, and she is tough as nails too, and athletic. So I think it's better. I can't sit here and say, oh yeah, we're going to be able to compete with Baylor. We're going to be able to compete with Iowa State. We're going to be able to compete with K-State and West Virginia inside, because those are the top 4 or 5 teams in the conference. So I think it's better. But I loved how they didn't back down. Okay, because they don't back down. I mean, they're tough like their coach, and they're willing to play defense. Here's the thing, it's really simple: make a few more shots. Get a few more second chance opportunities, and get some defensive rebounds, and that goes a long ways towards winning. But you could say that about every level of basketball, right?
Yes.
So I don't know. We'll see. With regard to Zach Thomas and the Miami Dolphins, hey Chuck, the guy who might break one of his records is former Red Raider Jordan Brooks. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Jordan Brooks is having quite a season down there.
No doubt. No doubt.
And he kind of burst on the scene when he signed with the with the Seahawks.
Well, he wasn't signed.
Well, he's drafted by the Seahawks.
27th pick.
Yeah, he was actually.
So, I mean, he was.
I was saying that to myself, and I was like, drafted, wasn't he? Anyway, but he kind of kicked the door in and got himself the second contract, which is what everyone really wants to do in the NFL. Speaking of which, going back to our texter asking about Tech baseball, I think one thing that might be, hopefully happening is you got two youngs in the bigs right now, and hopefully that both of them get to their second contract where they can start really making some money, and hopefully they'll remember their alma mater.
Yeah, hopefully.
I think both of those guys are guys they spend a lot of time in Lubbock. In fact, they own a house here, and I think they want to see the success of their program, and it's the program that helped propel them to where they are right now. And I think those conversations have probably been, at least the groundwork's being laid for those conversations. Josh is going into his third year in the big leagues, and he's probably a couple of years away from his second contract. And Jay's still on a rookie deal. He's several years away, but you just got to get to that point where you can get to those
much like those conversations went on with Mahomes for several years.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't just hey, now that you've got your rookie contract, I'm just glad that Zach Thomas is kind of back in the fold for the Red Raiders. I think there'd been some times where there was kind of be on the outside a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's fair.
But he's very much inside now. He's in the Ring of Honor, for God's sake.
This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Jamie's question of the day on Double T 97.3, presented today by someone not named Jamie, is brought to you by Connecticut of West Texas.
All right, gentlemen, it's the day before Christmas. We're all thinking fondly of holidays present and past, and presents of the past, and presents you're getting for people this year, and what you may be getting this year.
Are you asking what's the best gift?
No.
Okay,
what's
good.
your best sports-related gift that you have ever gotten for Christmas?
Recent or?
Your best. Your numero uno. The top of the food chain. The present you still look at today and go, that's nice.
Chuck's going to go, of course.
Well, what I'm trying to do is I'm backpedaling in my brain to see of all the, because generally there's always something sports related.
A clinic. I do a lot of teaching at officiating camps and clinics. This guy who was one of my attendees, when he got to Division I, he'd been coming to these camps for years. He got to Division I, and he was, as a way to thank me for what he did, he got a bobblehead made of me.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
As a referee?
He is a referee.
Okay, well, could have been a radio host. Could have been vice president of Alumni Association. Could have been a baseball umpire. Could have been basketball referee. There's a lot of. The lucky lady also got me a bobblehead one year, but it's me in a coat and tie with a briefcase in my hand.
Nice.
That's reflective of me.
Yeah, that is reflective of you.
Yeah. You know what? She got me. Okay, she got me this. It's a paver that is over at Texas Tech, in between the Womble and United Supermarkets Arena, that basically lists me as a Lady Raider broadcaster.
Nice.
And it's a nice paver, and it's kind of in the middle of the walkway when the teams walk from the Womble to the arena, and then I got the replica brick of that in my office.
Is it the Heinz Memorial Scabbage?
No, it's
Heinz Family Scabbage.
Yeah, let's not make anything memorial, because that means I'm not here to enjoy it.
True that.
I do think, if they, I wonder if they had it to do over again, if they would put in a sky bridge. Because,
it's nothing money can't.
They move an awful lot of stuff from the Womble to the arena every game day.
What about a tunnel?
Practices? They can't. I've asked about it. I asked about a tunnel. I think they looked into a tunnel. The problem is there's so much wiring underneath Indiana that I don't know that they know where to go. All right, Jeff, your gift.
It's the one I probably use the most of any sports-related gift, and it's basically because it's where I keep my keys and my dog leash in my apartment. Our boss, Jamie Lent, got me a nice little framed White Sox logo and slang and sayings and whatever little frame thing that it's got a very nice thick glass cover on it that it sits there right by my door. And every time I pick something off of it, I see a different little phrase on it. Every time I move, and it's not that it's there. I haven't seen them all before, but because the keys are on there and the leashes are on there, stuff gets covered up. So it's every morning when I look up, I see a little different White Sox thing.
Nice.
Okay. Very nice. Very, very nice.
I like it.
This from the Yates Flooring Center chat line off the WT97.3 mobile app presented by Happy State Bank. My climate obligation is to fly my jet to Steamboat Springs tomorrow to ski.
Nice.
Right, very nice.
That's nice of Troy Footman to text in this morning.
Hey, this kind of goes with your rant earlier this morning against the airlines. This is serious stuff, especially if you're flying American today or you have somebody
I'm not flying American today, but I will be next week.
Okay. American Airlines flights are resuming after a brief technical issue disruption. The airline confirms that was 20 minutes ago. An hour ago, American announced that they had grounded all flights nationwide following a company request prompting the FAA to issue a ground stop. That can't go well.
Well, at least if everything got grounded, that everything was delayed.
Yeah.
So my connecting flight's not still on time because inevitably, if my outbound flight is delayed by 10 minutes, the inbound flight not only gets in early, or instead of being late, it gets in early and actually back away from the gate early.
And then this just a few moments ago, an hour-long ground stop for all American Airlines flights in the U.S. has been lifted after an unspecified technical issue. Okay. Okay. Well,
you think this Bazinked in, Niggazinked in?
I don't know. Somebody
had a Johnson rod out of place.
I don't know. Hopefully everybody's got control of that to a degree.
I just have to suspend all of that because there's so much trust that you have to put in. There are a lot of little itty bitty pieces and parts that have to work together to make an airline
Jeff
fly.
can speak to that because his dad was an airline mechanic for years and years.
The fact of the matter is, I have to trust that the mechanic didn't have a fight with his wife this morning, didn't have road rage on the way to and isn't mad while he's turning those wrenches. I have to hope that the pilot got a great night of sleep. And that he didn't wake up in the middle of the night with insomnia, and he's on his third no-dose in the morning. There's so much trust. I have to trust that the guy putting the food in the galley is putting the right food in there, and he's doing it the right way, and he's not upset. And
you got a laundry list of issues.
Oh, absolutely. But you just have to trust all these things.
Sure, right.
Oh, I thought I was getting the eyes of an angel there. I thought I was getting rant music. No, but there is a lot of trust, so we have to just deal with that, and I do.
Here we go. Snead, you're wrong. Worked in the airlines for a decade. They will attempt to make up time in the air, or if they have planes coming out of maintenance, they'll try to get back on track.
I'm aware. I've seen him make up time in the air.
Again, he flies 150 flights a year. He's a bona fide expert.
Okay. All right. What do I know?
Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Thank you for being with us today with Chris Snead is in for Jamie Lent and Jeff McGuire. I'm Chuck Heinz. All right, I have done this a number of times. It is a bit of a morning drive tradition. This particular story comes to you from the Kansas City Star.
Yes.
It was published, they believe, for the first time on Christmas Day 1960, which would have been my very first Christmas.
Nice.
By a couple of months. The gentleman who wrote it, his name is Bill Vaughn. It is a annual tradition. He was a longtime humorist at the paper. He had an untimely death in 1977. So here we go. Tell me a story of Christmas, she said. The television mumbled faint inanities in the next room. From a few houses down the block came the sound of car doors slamming and guests being greeted with large cordiality. Her father thought a while. His mind went back over the interminable parade of Christmas books he had read at the bedside of his children. Well, he started tentatively. Once upon a time, it was the week before Christmas, and all the little elves at the North Pole were sad. I'm tired of elves, she whispered. And he could tell she was tired. Maybe almost as weary as he was himself after the last few feverish days. Okay, he said, there once was in a city not very far from here, the cutest, wriggly little puppy you ever saw. The snow was falling, and this little puppy didn't have a home. As he walked along the streets, he saw a house that looked quite a bit like our house, and at the window was a little girl who looked quite a bit like me, she said with a sigh. I'm tired of puppies. I love Pinky, of course. I mean, story puppies. Okay, he said. No puppies. This narrows the field. What? Nothing. I'll think of something. Oh, sure. There was a forest way up in the north, farther even than where Uncle Ed lives, and all the trees were talking about how each one was going to be the grandest Christmas tree of all. One said, I'm going to be a Christmas tree too, and all the trees laughed and laughed and laughed and said, a Christmas tree? You? Who would want you? No trees, Daddy, she said. We have a tree at school and at Sunday school and at the supermarket and downstairs and a little one in my room. I am very tired of trees. You are very spoiled, he said. She replied. Tell me a Christmas story. Let's see, all the reindeer up at the North Pole were looking forward to pulling Santa's sleigh, all but one, and he felt sad because he began with a jolly ring in his voice, but quickly realized this wasn't going to work either. His daughter didn't say anything. She looked at him reproachfully. Tired of reindeer too, he asked. Frankly, so am I. How about Christmas on the farm when I was a little boy? Would you like to hear about how it was in the olden days when my grandfather would heat up bricks and put them in the sleigh and we'd all go for a ride? Yes, Daddy, she said obediently, but not right now. Not tonight. He was silent, thinking. His repertoire, he was afraid, was exhausted. She was quiet, too. Maybe he thought, I'm home free. Maybe she has gone to sleep. Daddy, she murmured, tell me. Tell me a story of Christmas. Then it was as he could read the words. So firmly were they in his memory. Still holding her hand, he leaned back. And it came to pass in those days that there went out a decree from Caesar Augustus that all the world should be taxed. Her hand tightened a bit in his, and he told her a story of Christmas. Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night. And thank you for letting me share this story that I've read for years and years and years.
Absolutely. It's a great story, Chuck Heinz. And Merry Christmas to you guys.
8:51 this morning here on the morning drive. All right, back to sports.
I was just told on the Snead line that I should probably start to fly the airline that flies around the southwest part of the country. Because they just turned away someone who brought their pet on a flight. It's a Christmas miracle, and I love that.
We started with that. We started with
Well, it was Festivus.
Dogs on Planes.
It was
Yeah,
Festivus, and I didn't get to air my grievances yesterday. And so I aired my grievance, and my grievance is that of people flying with their pets.
Right.
I don't want to fly with your pet. And,
service dogs either?
Service dogs are different.
Okay.
If you have a legitimate service dog.
Do you want it to say service dog on the side?
I want it to say, do not pet. This is a service dog performing a duty, not your emotional support parrot, your emotional support chinchilla, or your cat that you can't possibly live without for 2 hours on an airplane.
Yeah.
The airline that flies around the southwest portion of the country is turning away people that are bringing their pets, and I love that. It's great. It's awesome. Like I said, it's a Christmas miracle.
It's a Christmas miracle.
It's brought a smile to my face.
Okay.
Actually.
This Kirby will never schedule Wyoming or ACU again. Did you see the Sisters of the Poor schedule next year? If we don't win 9 games, Joey should sell his house. The hidden numbers mean, and this station doesn't want to talk about it. What are you talking about?
Wait. You won 8 games, okay? You won 8. You know what you get if you had beaten ACU 55-3? You know what you got?
You still got to win.
The same thing you got beating them 55-54.
Yeah.
Now you don't get to go brag to your buddy at the water cooler that you beat up on his Wildcats, but you got the dub.
I did take a picture of that. Not that it's going to be my Christmas card, but I did take a picture of that scoreboard. It's just a simple reminder of that was pretty damn close.
Wins me. Hey, you know what? It doesn't matter if you win by 50 or you win by 1. You win.
And let me tell you, I still think the most brilliant decision of 2024, even if it was made in 23 or 22, was to duplicate that double T in the South End Zone.
Love it. And that was
the absolute right decision.
Here's the thing. Everyone was losing their mind because they were going to tear it down.
Right.
And I was kind of like, does that mean you can't build another one just like it? I mean, we
never thought about that.
Exactly. I said that from the get-go. Just build another one just like it.
But I don't know if you ever said it out loud or not, but I'll just say
I said it on these airwaves.
Well, I never heard you. So
well, I was languishing at the noon hour.
Okay, well,
when I said that. I mean, it's not hard. You built one just like it.
That was a multi-million-dollar decision that they took all the angst out of people.
Exactly.
All the angst. The only thing I would like was just the scroll across the top that said self-tactilization. That would have been fun.
Go out and do something nice for them. I do something nice for you, and Merry Christmas.
Remember, in the Department Store of Human Affairs, sports is, after all, the toy department, and yes, Merry Christmas.
This has been the Morning Drive Podcast, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Check out our library of Double T 97.3 podcasts at doublet973.com.